report sizwe iperspective yabo nge-equality, i-improvement yakhona ukuthi ingenziwa kanjani. Sicela uku-invite u-Senior Vice President uMr. Khumbulani Cela, simshayeleni izandla ezaphambili.
Ngiyabonga Program Director. Ngisukuma nami nokuqala ke ngibingelele kakhulu Honorable Bernice Swart, the Deputy Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment. And then I would also like to acknowledge the Acting Executive Mayor of Gersebande, MMC Zunguza. Nelunga lonke ahamba nalo ama officials from Gersibande, acknowledgement, Councillor Zuma, Executive Mayor of Govan Mbeki, all the ward councillors that have been mentioned, I acknowledge you. I acknowledge Dr. Patience Gwaze, the National Equality Officer, as well as the executive team of DFFE, Ms. Tebogo Mokagane, Omohakabe, the Provincial Equality Officer, and all the DFFE officials, as mentioned, the representatives from the various structures of government and the NGOs that are here. I've heard also there are representatives from ESCOM, the community of GMM, all the organized structures, the members of the media that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, sanibonani, ngiyanibingelela nonke ngokuyithoba ngiqhamuke Sasol. I-program director ibishilo ukuthi igama lami nguKhumlani Cele. Ngicela ukuqale ngibonge kakhulu Deputy Minister ngokuthi usinvite sibe khona la. Le nhlangano yethu sonke inhlangano esibona esasole ebaleke kakhulu ukuthi sokhuluma ngokuhlanzeka komoya. And thina Sasol, we truly believe in engagement with our communities in order to collaborate and see how do we find a way forward in all the challenges that we have. So today's engagement for us, Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister, we come here with the intention to listen, firstly, but also to share information in order to build a common understanding, both in terms of the challenges that we all face and also the progress that we are making, because it's not to say that, yes, we've got challenges of clean air, but there is a lot of progress being made. And I would like to take the opportunity to share with you that progress. So the very first thing, without going through to the slides as yet, I would like to just fundamentally say that at Sasol, firstly, the protection of human health and the environment is our foundation. It's a foundation to how we operate. It determines everything that we do, and it's our number one priority, including the safety and the well-being of people. We do acknowledge and recognize, Deputy Minister, that the Highveld faces complex, really complex equality challenges. And ngijabule kakhulu in the introduction, Deputy Minister, mubala all the various challenges and the multiple sources that contribute to umoya nokungcola komoya. And we believe as Sasol that meaningful solutions require collaboration, such as this engagement here. Also sound science, because the issue of pollution needs to be approached from a scientific approach in order to recognize what are the factors that contribute the most, so that you know what to do in order to make the biggest impact on it. And last but not least is the commitment that we have in terms of continuous improvement. So, namhlanje, I would like to just summarize the key things that as Sasol we would like to share with you. The first one is all the actions that we are doing to reduce our emissions from the factory, but also the significant investments that we have made in order to improve our air quality. And also the positive outcomes achieved through community-focused on air quality offsetting programs, as you have mentioned, Deputy Minister. So with that said, the message is gonna be very simple. It's gonna be one of cleaner air. How do we get there? How do we get to healthier communities? And also, most importantly, a responsible transitioning that needs to be achieved together. So if you can continue to the next slide. Ngibonge kakhulu ngisuka ngiqala nje ukukhuluma ngoba ngingajabula ukuthi ngisho ukuthi as Sasol sibona si part of this community. Asiyona nje inkampani eoperateayo efuna ukwenza izinto. We are very much a key part of this community. Into ehlukumeza umphakathi wala, nathi siyilungu lomphakathi ofuna ukusukuma abone ukuthi singasiza kanjani. So kulokho ngicela ukusukuma ngisho ukuthi kubaluleke kakhulu okokuqala ukuthi sisupporte the local livelihoods, impilo, ukuphila kwabantu. Okwesibili kubalulekile kuthina ukuthi support the economic development yabantu in our community. And last but not least, to support South Africa's energy security. And mengikhuluma nge-energy security, ngiyazi sonke siyayibuka indaba. Izinto ezenzeka emhlabeni, izimpi ezenzekayo involving Iran, US, the Middle East, zine impact kakhulu ekuthinini sithole petrol, diesel, wokuthi kuqhubeke izinto ekufanele sizenze, siqhubeke siphile. If kwenzekile ukuthi umhlaba uvalwe ukuthi mhlamba khona amazwe angasafuni ukuletha crude oil ebalekile ukuthi senze fuel in the country. Leyo nto ikhombisa ukubaleka ukuthi sibe self-sufficient and self-sustaining as a country. And as Sasol, we see ourselves as a key contributor, as a national strategic asset that will ensure the economy strives and people can go from point A to point B. So that's our value add. In Govan Mbeki specifically, in the Govan Mbeki Municipality, we believe we are a significant contributor to the local economy. As mentioned in the slide, we contribute over 65% of the gross domestic product, including employment or qashwa ukuthi abantu basebenze, 55% yenzeka through Sasol. And into ebalekile kuthina ukuthi iqhubeke yenzeke. At national level, I've mentioned ukuthi we contribute in terms of the energy security. But in actual fact, I would like to tell you all that we actually contribute 60% of inland fuel supply. 60% of that is contributed from this factory here, Secunda, and also Natref. As Sasol, we employ permanently 27,000 of people. And in terms of economic activity, we directly contribute to over 500,000. That's 500,000 jobs within the supply chains and the related industry. And I was happy to hear there are also groups representing from the agricultural sector, because our Sasol, our chemicals that we do manufacture here contribute a great deal in the mining as well as the agricultural sectors. So these contributions, I would like to just say they represent very important dimensions of community value. One being that supporting the local economic growth, two, contributing to the national energy security, and lastly, strengthening the economy, the economic resilience through jobs, skills, and supply chains. Moving on, I would like to really say, as I've mentioned earlier, that we are here as Sasol to listen. We are also here to make sure that whatever message comes from you, that we action it. And we lastly want to say that you can hold us to account. You can hold us truly accountable on what we commit to. So the engagement today for us, firstly, it starts off when we're talking about the airshed. Meaningful action starts with just understanding of our airshed. You know, we need to understand the complexities in terms of what contributes to the air pollution, because it's not only industry. Industry is definitely a contributor, but as mentioned earlier, domestic fuel burning, transport, the transboundary pollution also play part. And our approach, as I've mentioned, it needs to be guided by a scientific approach, but also evidence-based. And we operate as Sasol 9 monitoring stations. These are weather monitoring stations, and it's the only ones of their kind that are SANAS accredited. The SANAS, South African National Accreditation System. And that enables us to make sure that we can monitor what is in the air and respond accordingly. Now, secondly, the approach, and with the DFFE being here as regulator, compliance to our atmospheric emission licenses is a minimum obligation. You know, wherever possible, we would like to pursue improvements that go beyond just the licenses or the minimum emission standards. And then thirdly, I want to mention about the investments. Since 2005, and you will see there on the slide that we have invested over 28 billion rand in tangible projects that I will share with you shortly, to make sure that we make steady but sustainable growth to reducing our emissions. And again, I would like to say that we are here to engage, we are here to really listen, but not listen so that we can answer, listen so that we can take it back and do the right things in terms of actioning. Deputy Minister, we also have a 24-hour environmental complaints line, which is manned continuously. We respond to every single complaint that we receive. We also respond to complaints sometimes that come through from Johannesburg, and that's the seriousness that we take the equality initiative. And these concerns, in all that said, we take them as very serious and we want to act on them. Now, I would like to step off and talk about the offsetting program that was mentioned earlier on, because for us, it's another way, it's one way that Sasol also contributes to the improvement of air quality. I've mentioned the significant investments, over 28 billion, but offsetting, we have seen actually improve more than 6,000 homes where we've transitioned from coal burning because of ukubanda, sishintshe itofu emakhaya sizenze igas. And ngiyayizwa i-challenge or inkinga yokuthi na igas iyabiza. Ngifuna ukusho kodwa sila ukuthi hayi ukuthi asiyazi leyo nto. Sifuna ukuthi sibambisane ne-department sibone ukuthi what solutions can we come up with to make it easier for the community to access these resources. But what is quite nice to see is that in the offsetting program, Deputy Minister, not only did we transition these homes, the 6,000 or more than 6,000 homes, we also employed an independent company called the Nova Institute to do studies for us. Ukuthi lento esiyenzile iwenzile yini umehluko. And the independent company yaya khona kwi-community yakhuluma yenza ama-studies abo. And yathola ukuthi 97% of those homes that we transitioned actually still sustain the infrastructure that we've built, which is not only just gas stoves, but also insulation through the installation of ceilings in people's homes, in the encouragement or in the improvement of making sure that homes are warm. So this study, Deputy Minister, it also tells us from an independent source that it's sustainable because the communities have responded in a way that they have not gone back or have not sold the equipment that we've enabled. And it's not only that, there are direct environmental benefits which are very significant. And on the slide, I've put on a few that talk to the particulate matter reduction that were attained from the offsetting program. So this offsetting program has yielded on multiple levels. Firstly, improved indoor air quality, lower household emissions, and less neighborhood pollution. It's yielded lower dependency on coal and other solid fuels. It's led to the promotion of health and well-being for the community members, and it's had meaningful contributions overall to the overall ambient air quality. Now, with that said, Chair, Deputy Minister, I would like to also talk about something that we are doing as a business. If you move on just from a slides perspective, that we are doing on a much broader level, and that is transitioning our operations into renewable energy, where we have actually committed to pursue over 2 gigawatts of energy, because renewable energy actually promotes a cleaner air quality. And of this 2 gigawatts that we've committed, 500 megawatt is already operational, and up to 1.2, it's already contracted. And zonke lezinto, they are matters that promote employment to the community, because all these projects require activities which include then people. And the message is really, again, a very simple one. We would like cleaner air, a healthier and stronger community, and a responsible energy transition. A responsible energy transition, because the well-being of the community and the economic livelihood is also important. Now, in closing, I would like to maybe touch on and just summarize some key points And key messages that I've mentioned here. The first one is that Sasol acknowledges that air quality is a very important issue. Secondly, the improving of air quality requires sustained action. It's not something you do one day and then it's gone. It's also not something that you do as just industry. It's all of us coming together that needs to sustain these actions. Now, I also want to list the fact that cleaner air, climate action, energy security, job protection, and economic development, all these areas are not competing priorities. They should never be. All of them are equally important. And we believe that, to improve all these elements, we need a collaborative approach to take them on. And I would like to say that, we recognize that lasting success can only be achieved through collaboration between communities here, government that's here, industry being us, and all stakeholders who share common interest in a healthier and more sustainable future. Thank you.